Welcome to the dynamics of everyday life, where we demystify some tricky concepts and get to know ourselves a little bit better. Welcome back to the show, everyone. And if you're listening to this around the time of production, then a very Happy New Year to you all. Can we still say Happy New Year? I think we can. We're only 2 weeks into the new year, so I think it's absolutely fine to wish that the next 50 weeks bring you everything that you hope for. And also, if you're listening to this on the day that it's released, it's also my daughter's birthday. I checked to see if she was happy with me mentioning this on the show, and her response was, yes, that's okay. Please tell all the listeners to send me gifts, with the confidence that only a 19-year-old can have. So without wishing to turn this into a local radio show, a very happy birthday to my firstborn. Right, back to the psychodynamic fun. Here we all are in January, which seems to have come quicker than we think it will after Christmas. It feels like 1 minute we are tidying away the wrapping paper in a large black bin bag, and the next we're staring at our planner for the year thinking, where on earth do I begin? And there's the noise. Good grief, the noise. Everyone is reinventing themselves left, right and centre. New year, new me. No, new year, same old me, just trying to move things along a little bit better than I did last year. If you listened to all the slogans out there, it's enough to tell you that you need a new personality. But what's really going on underneath all of that is that who you were last year won't be enough for this one. Enough for what? And for who? Exactly. And who gets to decide what enough actually is? Now, all this reinvention makes me think of Madonna, the queen of reinvention. Her ability to reinvent herself has been one of the central parts of her career. Visually, sexually, musically, culturally, you name it, she's shape-shifted her way through it. Now, one thing I want to make absolutely crystal clear here is I love Madonna. I've been to see her more times than you can imagine. Her first UK show at Roundhay Park in Leeds. I've also been to Paris at the Bercy Arena and most recently at the O2 in London, nearly having to remortgage the house to pay for the ticket. But if there's one thing she can do well, it's put on a show, so it's absolutely worth it. She is incredibly talented in many, many ways, and reinvention is just part of it. And the thing is, somewhere along the way, we decided that this was something we should all be doing. Clearly, there was some kind of memo that we all read and committed to our memory, and it makes us think that psychological health is linked to perpetual reinvention. And I don't know about you, that just makes me feel exhausted. Does staying recognisable mean that we've stagnated? I don't think so. McDonald's hasn't changed its branding or logo in as long as I can remember, and I think they're doing okay for themselves. But that's not what we're fed. We're constantly told about how we can be the best versions of ourselves as long as we follow someone else's 5-point plan. But let's be clear here. If reinvention worked as well as January promises, we'd all be sorted by now, wouldn't we? Let's put some key lines in the sand here. Change does not equal growth, and reinvention does not equal development. Now, they might coexist, they absolutely might do. I'm not saying that they can't, but they're not guarantees, and it's really important to hold on to this. From a psychodynamic perspective, constant reinvention, it's often driven by anxiety about being left behind. And when you think about it, in a world that seems, where we're moving faster and faster just to stand still, you can see how this one plays on in our minds. There's also the fear of boredom, of limits, of ageing, and irrelevance. Our people just going to move on to the next big thing, which is quite possibly brought out by someone far younger than us. And there's a sense that who I am now, it won't survive what's coming out next. I need to be someone else to be able to cope with everything. So when you think about it, very often the urge to reinvent isn't curiosity, it's panic. Now, sometimes reinvention is creative, it's alive, it's real. Sometimes it is the right time to reinvent yourself. If we didn't reinvent ourselves from time to time, just think of the dreadful hairdos we would all still be sporting. My 90s perms that I was very fond of back in the day, they would not have been a good look now. If in fact they were ever a good look at all. And maybe we'd be stuck in places that we'd outgrown years ago. However, sometimes it's a defence against sitting with the things that we don't like very much. Discomfort, grief, dissatisfaction, and the fact that not everything needs fixing, or even can be fixed. And January? Well, January is just a loudspeaker for all of that. Throw in post-Christmas fatigue and ennui, and you can see how the idea of reinvention becomes even more seductive. Now, Madonna's reinvention works precisely because it is her psychic material. It's who she is. But many people don't need to become someone else. What they actually need is to become more themselves. Let's use another pop queen as an example, Kylie Minogue. I'm slightly disappointed here that I have to qualify which Kylie, as to me there is only one, but this is not the case with every generation, as I discovered with my daughter. Kylie Minogue is a pop princess. It's who she is, and she is loved for it. But what happened when she went all dark and mysterious during the Nick Cage days? Well, to use a phrase from smash hits, purchased by every forward-thinking teenager in the 1980s, she went down the dumper. Because this wasn't who Kylie is. Fast forward to the gold hot pants of spinning around, and she was firmly back in our hearts and minds because she was back being her true self. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, we have someone like Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, late wife of John F. Kennedy Jr., who absolutely did not reinvent herself. There was no performance with Carolyn, no chasing wanting to be liked, just increasing coherence and containment. And there's a particular kind of authority that comes from not scrambling to be new. This can speak as loudly as someone constantly trying to be the next big thing. Who really wants style over substance? Some of the most powerful psychological shifts can look like very little from the outside. If you aren't reinventing yourself this year, you're not failing. Just because it seems like everyone else around you might be trying the latest thing, it really doesn't mean that you have to. If you're feeling resistant to January energy, you're probably listening to something sensible. Growth does not always announce itself with a new identity. And, as always, give yourself some grace. We can't all be Madonna. And honestly, most of us don't need to be. Sometimes the work isn't becoming someone new. It's staying with who you already are long enough to let them settle. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Dynamics of Everyday Life. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. As well as producing this podcast, The Dynamics of Everyday Life has lots more psychodynamic fun going on. And you can find out more at dynamicsofeveryday.life.